Hello, lovelies. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Nephtara Grace. If you're new, welcome in. So glad you're here. If you've been here before, welcome back. Now, normally there is what we do and how we do, but it's going to be a little bit different today. As I was preparing for this morning's reading, I felt very strongly that, like, God, and it's like not spirit, God wants to talk about sex. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And so whatever combination the cards and stuff fly out, that we're going to leave it up to the Most High, okay? Now, the other thing about this conversation is it's pretty weighty. It's pretty important. Like, I kept wanting to do something else, and Spirit's like, no, we're talking about sex this morning now. So that's what we're going to do. I do have a reading from yesterday that I did record. I'm not going to lie. It was a little triggering for me as a reader. Like, oh my God, I've read this energy like to filth. I'm done reading it. But I am going to go ahead and post it. Like, I dealt with that yesterday. Like, hey, somebody at some point is going to need this. The readings are timeless. I am going to go ahead and post yesterday's reading. I got over my own self. Like, oh, I'm tired of this energy. But today I feel like that the Most High wants to talk about sex is important. I feel like it's connected to a lot of what is happening in our lives all around us, what we've been through, all the things. So I'm just going to jump in. I'm lighting some Palo Santo. I'm drinking hot water. I'm going to blow smoke. The cards, the runes, it's all here. It's going to come out. I just can't guarantee the order, okay? So to start the channeling, I'm going to take you back to New York. Oh my gosh, the year is 2013, okay? And I'm on the subway in Manhattan. And I'm witnessing this energetic interaction between a couple. And I'm very clear that I'm looking at a divine masculine and a karmic feminine. Now, I didn't have the language like that back then, but I was looking at a guy, a masculine energy, that was energetically looking to expand and grow. And he was sitting next to a very codependent feminine energy who, it's like energetically, she could see he was trying to grow and expand, but she was so scared he was going to leave her in that expansion that she was doing anything she could to hold him in place, okay? Now, I saw this peeped game, and I was like, oh my God, that's horrible, right? Like, if someone wants to grow, you should let them grow. So I grew up, if you love something, let it go. If it's meant to be yours, it'll come back to you. That's how I live my life. It's what I believe. Like, I just believe that. I live it. And so I personally don't get someone trying to hold another person back because you're scared they're going to leave you, okay? If you love someone and you're scared they're going to leave you, do what you need to do to make yourself indispensable to that person. Grow yourself up. Get interested in what they're interested in. Like, get into their world. And I mean that. This is like legit advice for somebody. If you love someone and you want them in your life and you feel like things are just not heading in that direction, there are things you can do that don't involve manipulation, coercion, or, fucking spell work. I'm just saying. I, as a practitioner, don't practice love spells. Why? Because I came from a bloodline that was heavily impacted by love spells. My ancestors fucked around with that shit, so I don't want no parts of it right now. And yet I tell you, the number of people who tried to put love spells on me, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm immune. My ancestors already did that shit. I'm immune. But let's talk about what's happening in relationships right now, because there's been a divine decree that it's time for divine unions. Now, up until this decree, it really was anybody could be with anybody. And that's what we had in the world. We had people's unhealed traumas choosing their partners for them, right? And if you have enough courage to admit it, that's what your past relationships have looked like too, right? Like your unhealed wounds and traumas and fears, pick your partners, pick your spouse, blah, 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 until it didn't, yeah? Well, the Most High has allowed all that to occur so that we could naturally learn for ourselves. Like, if you're a parent, you understand. You can tell your kid 1 + 1, or you can show them how to take one apple and another apple and have 2 apples. You can show them. So the Most High has been allowing us to learn hands-on learning, okay? Now, we've had guides, obviously. We've had people saying, don't do that, come on, don't do it, and we listened or not, right? But a divine decree went forth. That means it's not optional. That means it's for everybody. That means ain't nobody exempt from this, okay? And that is all souls marked for divine union must now come to the front desk to receive your divine union assignment. That is the decree that went out. Nobody asked you questions. Nobody said, are you ready? Do you feel like it? Because quite honestly, God don't give a fuck how you feel about his plan for you. Your feelings about God's plan for you make no difference to God's plan for you. I can guarantee you from experience, if you don't like the plans God has for you, it's because you haven't healed yet. I hated God's plans for my life until I healed. And then I realized, oh shit, you just want me to be me? I feel dumb for resisting you. All God wants is for you to be who you are. Who you are. That's it. So everything God is asking you to do is asking you to take an action that will unconceal to you the truth of who you are to yourself. Okay, that's what it's all about. That's why anytime somebody else inserts themselves into your journey, unless God decrees it is so, it's a hot fucking mess express. You were born alone. Even if you're a twin or a triplet, you came out one at a time. Okay, you were born alone. You're gonna die alone. Your spiritual journey is one where you connect with source for yourself, and that's what we're going to talk about. So in a divine union, you have a divine masculine and a divine feminine. What makes them divine? This is a great question, right? So the first thing, divine feminine, let's start there. Divine feminine is like the womb of the divine. The divine feminine is so connected to source that her womb energy, her sacral chakra energy, is source energy. Okay? And she's designed like that so that the divine masculine can come in, penetrate that sacred womb of creation, be imbued with source energy, and then go out and manifest the divine will of God. I'm telling you, that's what it's meant to be. Now, if you know the Most High, you know the divine will of God is love, peace, joy. Yeah, y'all know all them. So that's the divine will of God. Whoever's out here thinking angels and harps, you need to stop watching Looney Tunes. That's not what this is about, okay? This is about everybody having food, everybody having water, everybody having a decent place to live. This is about everybody eating. Divine unions are consecrated by the Most High to be new earth leadership pinnacles, bastions of safety and security for the new earth. So when we talk about social justice, when we talk about equality, when we talk about all these Aquarian ideals of this high vibrational age, this is all going to be brought forth by divine unions. The divine feminine is who's receiving the instructions directly from source. The divine masculine who takes the divine masculine then sits with the divine feminine, understands the instructions she's received, and then goes and makes it so. But because it's divine decree, it's all being filtered through pure channels, pure portals. Okay, so you got a lot of divine feminines, a lot of divine masculines in relationships with partners that are not divine. They're in relationships with the people that their fears, their wounds, their triggers, their traumas hit. And the Most High is literally saying, well, that's over. The time for that's over. We need divine masculine to be with divine feminine, period. Because it is now past time for these codes we need to be on this earth. See, people out here worried about somebody gonna get snatched, somebody gonna get shot, everybody's so worried about the next big bad thing that's gonna happen, but y'all are not willing to actually do the thing that's gonna stop the next big bad thing from happening. The only way to stop the next school shooting, person shooting, but I don't give a hell what it is. The only way to stop it is to put God's plan. That's it. There's two agendas, fear and love. The only way to stop the fear agenda is to bring the love agenda. The love agenda is carried by divine unions. Now, we got a challenge here. Because on the surface, a divine feminine looks like any other feminine. Unless you're divine. See, when you have ascended, you can recognize the divine feminine and divine masculine. You already know. You already know what you're looking at. Okay? When a man lays with a woman that is not divine, he is laying with a woman whose womb is filled with the insecurities, fears, traumas, and triggers from every man that lay with her before. Okay? So when he gets up from that woman, his burdens are not eased. And men, you know what I'm talking about. You can lay with the woman and wake up feeling great, or you can lay with the woman and wake up feeling worse. Like, oh my God, why did I do that? So when men lay with women who are not in divine feminine energy, not only do they not receive instruction from source, right? Not only do they not receive instruction from source, because this woman isn't tapped in. They're just with a regular schmegular. She ain't tapped in. She might be getting tapped, but she ain't tapped in, all right? Hey. So anyway, he not only is he not getting energized to go fulfill his purpose and will, his energy is now being drained from him. So any energy that man did have to go work his job, build his business, fuel his dreams, it's literally being sucked out of him by the feminine that's not divine. It's like the opposite energy, where divine feminine will feed the masculine. A feminine energy that's not divine will feed off of the masculine. Men, you got to check where you're at. Got Kalanos for fire. We got Munjo for joy. Okay, so divine masculine men are really interesting creatures. These are men who lead with love, not with lust. And because these men lead with love and not with lust, they're very often misunderstood. This is why divine masculines must be with divine feminines. A divine feminine will see a divine masculine man and say, oh, look, that man is leading with love. This is a safe space. A woman who is not divine will see a divine masculine man and say, that man is an idiot. And then she proceeds to take him for a ride because he's leading with love. Now, the challenge here, of course, is for the divine masculine who's in a relationship with a woman who's not divine, or divine feminine who's in a relationship with a man who's not divine. That man's leading with lust, not with love, right? So he's treating a divine feminine like she's number 26 in his harem. You know what I mean? It's really unfortunate. But what happens is the divine counterparts, they're obviously not happy. They're not getting what they need. They're getting used. They're getting manipulated. They're often being abused. They're looking for a way out. Guess what? The divine just gave every divine counterpart a way out. So if you have not already, but I don't see how you could have missed it because it's been happening for the past 2 months, hardcore. Relationships everywhere are being wrecked. I mean, I was going to put it point blank, period. Relationships is being wrecked all over the place. Y'all see this? Here's what I want you to say. I'm not saying. Here's what I want you to see. If you see a relationship getting wrecked, like it's just wrecked, it wasn't divine. Divine relationships are being brought together. They're being reconstituted. They're being rejuvenated. In the case of divine connections that were there, then they got infiltrated, severed, because y'all, there's been some nasty ass work going on. Those unions have been protected, and you're going to see those couples come back together again. Okay? Y'all, I've been thinking about this couple from my childhood for the past week, and I feel like I'm not going to share their names, but these are real people that I met when I was like 12 years old, and I watched their progression. So I know this couple from my childhood. They married each other, I think originally like in 1984 or something, like when I was a kid, right? And then I think they were married for like 3-4 years, and they got divorced. And then they both remarried. And I think both of their new partners passed away. And then they both remarried again. And then I think they got divorced from those partners. And then they both remarried again. And I think those partners died. Okay? So this man and woman marry, they get divorced, and then they both subsequently marry 3 different people. You with me? And it was the same across the board. Their second marriages ended with them being widowed. Their third marriages ended with them in divorce, and their fourth marriages ended with them being widowed again. Okay? Now, when I come into the picture, now I'm about 14, 15. And this couple have come back into each other's life. Do you know? I sat at their wedding when they got married again. And I'll never forget being 15 and just being in awe of their story. Like, I just had never heard a story like that before. I was like, wait, what? They are each other's first and 5th marriage. Now, obviously, you know, by the time I'm sitting at their second their second wedding together, you know, these people are in their late 60s, right? Um, but the solidness that was there. And I, you know, I was a kid, really 15, but I remember other adults like kind of laughing and joking, like, "Oh my gosh, like wow, this is something that was written in the stars," or it turns out this is the, you know, all the things that you could imagine saying at an event like this, and the couple, again, I'm not gonna say their name, not that they watched this channel or ever would. They, hell, they might not even be alive. That was 30 years ago. Shit. Uh, yeah, they probably aren't alive now that I think about it. But it was something the man said. He said, you know, I always loved her. I just needed to learn how to love me. It was something, I'm telling, it was like, damn. Damn. You know what I'm saying? But that's how this is right now. So I'm telling you, there's some couples out there that have been together, been apart, been together, been apart, and it's like, what the hell are they doing? Don't worry about what they doing. That's not your business. Worry about what you doing. Worry about what you got going on. Now, this is really, really important. So this is controversial. If you guys don't know, I'm the Shadow Queen, and I'm called the Shadow Queen because I'm controversial. I did not give myself that name. Controversial entities gave me the name of the Shadow Queen. Look, the jinn named me. And the jinn are controversial. So when controversial beings like the jinn give you a name, you know, let it be your name. Let it be your name. All right. So Shadow Queen. And here's what I want to say about this. And by the way, Shadow Queen, my realm is sex, death, magic, everything that is taboo. That's what I'm here to discuss with you. When we talk about divine feminines having this direct line to source, and then divine masculines being able to tap in to connect to source, what I'm trying to tell you is this. God chooses to connect to men through their relationship with their women. And if you don't believe me, you explain to me what the fuck is wrong with religion then. Give me your best take. Go ahead. I'm going to sit here and light up while you go ahead and think about why religion looks so messed up. You go ahead and tell me. Because if God is in it, what's the problem? I'll tell you what the problem is. It's right there in the Bible. God is literally judging men based on how they treat their wives. That shit is in the Bible, y'all. Y'all don't be reading the Bible. It's in the Bible. God judges men based on how they treat their women. That's what the Bible said. Oh, y'all remember the part where it says, wives, submit to your husband? Y'all remember that part? You remember the other part, though? God told men how to treat women, and then he said, if you don't treat your woman right, I'm not going to answer your prayers. That's what God said. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. God said that. God desires to be in union with union. So if you believe in the Christian Bible, God was in union with Adam and Eve. If you believe the Christian Bible, the serpent came to Eve. Spirit chooses to connect with woman and then with man through woman. Nobody has to like it. But baby, I'm telling you, that's why women are subjugated all over the world. It's because we are required to connect to source. We ain't optional. He who finds a wife findeth a good thing. All these men out here with no wife, they lost. I'm telling you, all I'm asking you to do is hear my words and go out there and prove it to yourself. You show me a man that's got his shit together and he ain't got a divine feminine in his life. Find that man for me. There's a perfection to the order, the divine order that God has created for us to live inside of. And we are grossly misaligned with this perfection. That's why things are so crappy, okay? In order for man to connect to God, he must be in right relationship with the divine feminine. Why? Right? This is what men, why? Men think it's unfair. Men are actually fucking pissed at women right now because of this. They've been pissed at us for thousands of years. destiny swap with us just to prove that they didn't need us or our connection to God to build the world. Okay, wait, there you go. Y'all won. Look, yay, you built the world without us and God. Hooray. I mean, it sucks, but you did it. But why? Why did God make it like this? I want you to explore that on your own time, yeah? But suffice it to say, because that's who God is. God is both. If God is both masculine and feminine, why wouldn't God want to be in union with both masculine and feminine? Why would God leave one part of themselves out just to favor another part? God wouldn't do that. That's weird. That's not God. No, God wants to be in union with union. You understand? So that's the way it got created. So I'm sorry that religion lied and said, "Oh, man is the head and woman has to." That's just weird. Because the verse in the Bible telling women to submit only comes after God says, "Treat your woman the way I treat my son Jesus. And if you don't, then your prayers will go to a closed heaven." In other words, ain't nobody gonna be listening. Then he says, "And likewise, you wives, submit to your husband." In other words, you submit to your husbands while your husbands submit to me. And your husbands submit to me by loving you. That's what it said. I just read it more than once with my eyes and my heart open. Go back. Do what you said. Men submit to God. Now, I've seen men who submit to God. I've seen men who submit to God, and I see how those men treat their wives, and I see how I've seen it. I've seen this in action. This is what God wants when it comes to sex, when it comes to sexuality, when it comes to connection. Notice I'm not using certain words in this conversation on purpose. He said we're talking about sex. He didn't say we're talking about nothing else, okay? So I'm not going to bring anything else in here. I'm not going to add something that I'm not being told to add, okay? I'm being told to let you know God is rearranging relationships. God is taking people from here, putting them there, based on their gifts, abilities, talents, and what must be done on this earth. Okay? God, what did he say? Something like it's not sex that God has a problem with. It's who's having sex with whom that's the challenge. Okay? See, God needs divine unions. He needs divine people having sex, opening those portals together. Does that make sense? If you think of y'all, this is the Divine Initiation, the course that I have. Check the description box, link to the website details. But if you think of sex like because it's a portal, right? I mean, think about it. You bring a soul from the other side. Think of it as a portal. Whether or not you get pregnant, that door is still opening every orgasm. The door is opening. Something is coming through. Even if it's not a soul to be incarnated in the flesh, something is coming through. We know this because we know this is how spiritual contracts and bonds are. We know this. We know how we got this part, right? Here's what I want you to consider. And again, if you want a deep dive, 6-month course, I love this work. You can absolutely not only have a say on which door gets open with your orgasm, but depending on who you have that orgasm around or with, intentionally retrieve from other realms through your orgasms. This is powerful. This is what they don't want you to know about sex. And this is why God is like having me we've got to talk about sex. We've got to talk about that it's not just procreation, that it's not just pleasure. You guys, this is a heavy message. I've been carrying it for years. I talk about it a little bit, but for some reason, it's like, nope, it's time. Sex is critical. It has been hijacked. We have to reclaim it. But it's got to be sex inside of a divine union. Do you understand? Because now at this point, time is of the essence. Certain portals, certain realms must be accessed. Certain keys have to be used. Please allow your spirit guide to put you with the people you are meant to be with at this time. Some of you are key code holders and you need to be with other key code holders because we need dual keys, dual access to get into some of these realms. Do you understand what I'm saying? And we need what's in these realms. A lot of the good shit that used to be here got locked away in these other realms. It's time for us to bring that good shit back, but we need 2 particular key code holders to access these realms. You see what I'm saying? So if you feel like spirit is moving you out of a situation, let it happen. If you've been single and you're worried about somebody, don't worry. Because as the divine unions come together, each one of you have to be actually ready to access these realms. Do you understand? Because you're not coming together for procreation and pleasure. In a divine union, each act of sex is a sacred mission, a sacred journey. Every single time. And there's pleasure. And there's procreation. But those are also sought intentionally. In divine union, you don't have sex because you're bored. And there's nothing else to do. So just do each other. That's escapism. There's nothing sacred about it. This is a call to those of you who know you're not only meant to be in divine union, but you understand the sacredness of your sexuality. You understand the sacredness of cultivating your sacral chakra energy. We have intuition, Dagas, Kalana is fire, Wunjo joy, and Aiwa is magic or death out here. This is a massive transformation that leads to the actual fulfillment of what you want. Like when we talk about how can we establish new earth, like for real, how can we have the kingdom of heaven be here? How can we stand in our power sustainably? How can we, like, really divine union? If you're in union with someone who's constantly empowering you and you're constantly empowering them, I mean, there's just nothing you can't overcome. So much of the spiritual attacks of these wars and battles, they've been going on so long. They've been able to be stretched out for so long because divine partners are being kept apart. I'm telling you, as soon as you let go of whatever you're holding on to and allow spirit to shift you into a higher timeline with your relationships, these wars and attacks are almost going to cease overnight. It's going to seem like it anyway because they're not going to be able to touch you. Because the power of y'all's aura combined is a shield. It is a protection. I'm telling you. I don't know. Listen, I don't know how many who. I'm just letting you know. This is what we're talking about tonight. All right? And then get a goddess out here. Come on. Yeah, it's the Shadow Master. I'm not making it up. Like, look, there I am. But really, no, but seriously, like, it just, this is it. This is it. The only way out is through. And look, because lust runs the matrix, you gotta know only true love is gonna break everybody out. Okay? And those of us who have access to true love are those of us who've been coded into divine union. Hello. Hello. And I'm clear that we've been doing our work on an individual level. It's time for us to come together and to do it collectively now. Okay. Let me get a crystal out here. Oh. This is where your happiness is. This is where your joy is. I mean, so I'm telling you, this is your destiny and your purpose all wrapped into one. Oh, that's a hijack, isn't it? So this divine, for those of us who are coded to be a divine union, a large part of your purpose in being here is being in this divine union. That is a divine celestial code and program that the Matrix hijacked and perverted. And now it has everybody feeling like they're supposed to be in this fairy tale love story. It's not available for everyone. It's available for divine unions. So everyone, listen, in other words, Disney has made billions of dollars off of something that's only available to divine unions. I'm gonna keep saying it because I'm just getting this, and it's blowing my mind. My little doggy ears is toasted. This fairy tale happily ever after is the divine union prototype. So the matrix has everybody yearning for something that is only available for divine unions, and not everyone is earmarked for divine union. The crazy part is up until now, up until this decree, ending ending divine partners being with anybody else. Divine partners, I'm gonna say, have been walking around feeling like this love is available, it's for everybody but them, but that's been the joke and the spell. Because actually divine partners are the only people that this is supposed to be for. I hope my words are making sense. You remember, I'm being brought back to the Great Commission where he sends them out 2 by 2. I'm telling you, there's something about this. This energy is here right now. Now, the other thing I want to that wants to come through is if this message is for you, you've recently felt activation in your root, sacral, and solar plexus chakras. You've been moved to dance, called to moving this part of your body. I'm picking up on energy that is mature enough and wise enough to understand that it's an activation. There's nothing wrong. Okay. This is a part of that. It's like this, something about the frequency of your lower chakras has shifted so that when you come into union inside of your divine union, again, it's like the divine's already preparing you ahead of time for the particular stargates you're going to open, the portals you're going to go through. That's why you're experiencing this activation in your lower chakras, because you're literally already being tuned to a higher frequency. So that as you, yeah, so the next time you're in union with, like when you are, and so you're not with your partner right now, but you will be soon. So when you guys do come together, it's going to be unlike anything you've ever experienced before. It's going to be a completely new experience because your root chakra frequency has completely shifted from anything it was before. Wow. That's pretty cool. Okay, anything else? Yeah, keep going. Keep the faith, they said. All divine partners have been activated at this time. Wow. Divine feminines are being asked to hold space in place, and divine masculines are being moved to their feminines. Wow. This is a highly coded frequency message that only some will receive. Stand by. Yeah. This page of coins is just that's the whole vibe. Final messages out here. It's a 2 of Wands, 2 of Coins, Page of Coins. Okay. Mm, mm. Hmm. Hmm. As I sit with the energy of these three cards being the final message in today's reading, which has been more of a channeling than a reading, I'm left with this echo of being in alignment, like really focusing. And this is, if you notice, these are all minor arcana cards. So this is like everyday life. And I really appreciate this because the energy we're talking about, in the recent readings, is a lot of major arcana energy. We're at a really big pivotal point in time. The Wheel of Fortune energy has been really big out here, right? We know karma is being served, but I think we forget that as the wheel turns and karma is served, that means there's a new beginning. There's something new on the horizon, and that's what I'm left with as this final message. This Two of Wands, focusing on what's going to bring us balance in our everyday life. What's gonna have us hit these goals? What's gonna leave us in alignment? What's gonna keep us on track? Is how this is coming through for me. And so, you get to answer that question for yourself as I close this reading out. You get to look at what's going to keep you in alignment on a daily basis. And it's going to be different for different people. Right now, Spirit has had me focusing a lot on my routines, my structures, my goals, my systems, both for my business and around my home, homeschooling my kids, and as well for my own personal care, right? Like all of that. There's systems and structures in place for all of that, or it just won't happen because life just lives. And, right, it's also, I know I'm in a season of expansion, so as I expand, all of those have to expand as well. The systems and structures that support my life have to expand as well. So that's one of the things that, I get to do on an everyday basis to keep myself in alignment, right? That's a part of my chop wood, carry water. And that's essentially what this is. Chop wood, carry water. Like, what's going to keep you in alignment? As you are allowing the Most High to move in your life in this massive way. I mean, I am telling you, for the past 2 years, specifically, I have felt the hand of God literally and seen the hand of God touching people's hearts. Do you understand? Turning on love and people's heart. Like, you think you have a choice in who you love? You don't. You do not. I've seen it with my own eyes. I'm telling you. And we say, oh, it's a thin line between love and hate. Nah, man. Nah. God controls people's hearts. That's real. He can turn people's hearts off. God can turn people. I've seen some stuff. And it's in the Bible. He hardened their heart. You don't hear about that anywhere else. You don't hear about any other God out here hardening hearts or opening hearts. Do you think about all the deities you know? I know a lot of deities. But the Most High is a love deity. Do you understand? Yah is a God of war and a God of love. Do you understand this? See, I'm a goddess, so I understand love and war. They say all's fair in both. Yah agrees. So please don't think that you can begin to understand the ways of the Most High, the plans of the Most High, how the Most High will move you and your heart according to their purpose and will, which incidentally is also your desire once you've healed all your trauma. Why? Because you're a child of Yah. I guess like it's just there. You know, look, I'm gonna leave this reading here. I love reading for you. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for being with me. If you haven't already, hit the like button, drop me a comment, subscribe if you resonate with the vibe over here. Time is a construct. We make it up. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. In between now and the next reading, remember to trust your path, your process, and your purpose. Peace.